Moon Knight episode 3 begins with Layla getting a fake ID while speaking to a woman, basically saying, I know what's going on with Mark Spector and with Stephen Grant. There's a line where Layla says something about not stealing, and then the woman hits her back with, I wonder what your father would think of his scarab now. Possession used to belong to her. There's a story of her family and a history of why she's doing what she is doing. Is she even in love with Mark Spector for Mark Spector right now? She's an interesting character just off of that. Layla grew up with an archaeologist on dig sites just like the one that Arthur Harrow is on now, using the scarab trying to figure out what's happening inside that tomb. Arthur Harrow is a big-time villain who has now found Amit what he was looking for. We pick up with Mark Spector here, who just lost his contact, just got stabbed right when he showed up. Mark's not trying to kill people. We actually see that he wants to, if he could prefer, to speak things through and talk to people. During the fight, we see through this reflection of the knife here that Stephen Grant wants in, and he gets in. Just like that. That ruins the whole mission for him. It also makes him seem really, really crazy to some of these villains who, when they see him again, they go, what the hell's going on here? There's a point in this next fight where Mark Spector kind of faints and goes down. And when he reemerges, he's already just stabbed somebody to death. Well, who's that if it's not Stephen Grant? Could there be a third personality here? Steven's claiming he swears it wasn't him, and I believe Steven. Mark chases him down, and Khonshu says, go over the ledge. Nah, he's just a kid. Do you see the compassion that Mark has for this kid right now? He's not a villain. It's okay to like Mark Spector now. Yeah, I think Mark Spector's the main guy. I think Stephen Grant is the alter one. Because who did the people talk to? Mark Spector. That's who those other avatars wanted to speak to when they were in that tomb. Mark is the main guy. While the show may have followed Stephen Grant, it's okay to follow Mark. This is where Khonshu says he gives him healing armor. Okay, where was that armor during this whole fight? You weren't using it, right? It's because you didn't want it to be seen? I don't understand why he didn't wear the armor during this fight at all. Mark asks, do you have any good ideas? I have a bad idea. And he turns the moon into like an eclipse. Is he moving the actual moon? What does the rest of the world say about this? Because that's pretty major. If this guy has the effects or the powers to make it appear like something's happening, that's one. But if he really is moving stars and everything in the sky, like, is the galaxy shifting with this man? That's the question. The eclipse summons a meeting where a portal opens and now they're inside the pyramid and he gets to talk to all the avatars just like him. And the people who are taking the body are like down. They're like the Jinchurikis in Naruto, and they get along with their host. I like the way that the show put the characters in this position, because when Arthur Harrow pops in now, shouldn't be here, right? It should be straight up fighting by now. We know who we are. You are the enemy and I'm the good guy. We're going to fight. But this is some sort of neutral ground. So this trial period doesn't go in the favor of Khonshu. Arthur pops in. Arthur has everything. This is not his first time he was in court. He's explaining, listen, man, Khonshu took advantage of this man. He's not stable. He's unwell. And Mark Spector's going to agree to that. He is unwell. But it's not about him. It's about this court case. Don't make it about me. And I feel like maybe if he wouldn't have said that, the other avatars, they would have just said, oh, yeah, really? Okay, cool. We're going to get rid of Khonshu right now. We'll take care of you, and you'll be free from this. But instead, he redirected the focus back on Harrow. This was fun to watch Oscar Isaac do his Matt Hardy impersonation throughout the whole thing. But some of the stuff we picked up was that they, the gods, quote-unquote gods, they were saying how, listen, we decided a long time ago not to meddle. All right, cool. Explanation of where they've been. It's always going to be needed every time we introduce a new franchise into the MCU that has, I guess, their own lore, like the Mystics, like whatever happens with mutants. Gotta know where they were. The meeting ends where Khonshu or Mark tries to strike Arthur Harrow. I don't know which one it is. And he goes, nah, this is violence. Can't do that. What kind of Oscar predictive? That was definitely rigged now. Yeah, it was all work. Everyone was, ABC does broadcast the Oscars. It's the Disney property. Yeah, totally. This is where the show should end, except it doesn't, because one of them who are listening says, okay, listen, there's a Senfu, there's a sarcophagus. That's who know where to find Amit's tomb, because Amit's tomb was hidden from us. But if you find that sarcophagus, you'll be nice. Honestly, this moment is the moment that furthers this show, because imagine if that wasn't it. He tried the legal process. It didn't cut it. Even turning the moon into the sun didn't work. This was the final straw. And here she comes in, whatever her name was, with the heroic words. Let's go. And Layla joins too. Doesn't want her to join, but he's also not telling her why. I think Mark should tell her about what the stakes are for her being involved, but she's going to tell him in the boat that she's not here for you, she's here for me. She's here for the millions who are going to die. So she's not going to be phased by what Khonshu is going to do to her. Then there's the scene where Marvel's trying to humanize Muslim people in their show. What is wrong with these people? How could they think that's a good thing to do during a time when they visit Egypt? So they link up with 2013 Randy Orton and he gets them to the sarcophagus. Love how many reflections that there are inside of this little room. He's going to ask for some alone time because Steven's the only one who could figure this all out. Steven's like, hey, just fold this here, put that there, and look, the astrology, you can see what the stars in the sky were on that night, and this is how we can figure out exactly where to find Amit. Before Mark can figure out the whole thing, wrinkly ass Arthur is going to show up. And yes, there is a suit up fight. Here's an epic shot with the moon in the background. The cape flaps open Batman style, whoops everyone's ass. Remember that the suit offers healing. We'll see that in full effect here because of all of the stabs that are inside of him. There's a Marvel comedy, unfortunately, where they got to switch between Mark and Steven and then switching right back. I didn't need that. Like, he could have been the different hero. He could have been not the fun hero, but the actual serious hero in Marvel. Can't have that, though. Can't have that. Very much have to have the quips. In the car ride, Layla's like, hey, every time I think I know you, you change. He's like, yep, you're right. You don't know me. That's right. He's kind of protecting her, even though you can see in his eyes that it hurts him. Don't you just want these characters to kiss? Well, they don't kiss. Instead, she asks for Steven because they're trying to put this map together of shredded pieces. Steven is going to make his way through. And don't tell me those eyes that she had for Steven were nothing, because it definitely felt like she's like, fine, if I can't have Mark, I want Steven. She really just wants Oscar Isaac, you know? This next part is the coolest part of the episode, and they don't get credit for writing this. It's more about telling us what the Egyptians did when they didn't have landmarks, okay? Stars was how they used it, but the constellation, unfortunately, stars move, stars drift, and the way around it is that Khonshu says, I remember the stars on that night, because he remembers every night, and he switches up the sky. Is the Guardians of the Galaxy moving too? I want to hear what they have to say the next time we watch them. Are they spinning, or is it one of those situations where everything spins, you don't actually feel it? Because technically right now, isn't the Earth spinning? I guess if you believe the Earth is round and all that stuff, it's orbiting around the sun, but yet we're not moving. So is that one of those situations? Because that has ramifications. This guy just moved the whole maybe the whole galaxy only, but he definitely moved the solar system. And we saw a whole bunch of movement happening in the skies. This takes out Khonshu. I still hope that Mark/Steven can still use the suit, but he does say something like, my energy's leaving. Then the group of the Avatar Jinchuriki folks do a ritual and they trap Khonshu. Amongst them is the one in the red dress who was supposed to be the friend who kind of sent him on this mission. So what kind of double agent stuff is this? Maybe she doesn't want to reveal her role in it. Or maybe what Khonshu did of spinning the whole world is that significant that, okay, I didn't know you're going to do that, I'm locking you up. So it looks like they lock him up inside the statue, figuratively speaking, maybe metaphorically speaking, or literally, I don't know. So it appears that they actually get the coordinates using science, using Egyptian lore, using all of it to get there. And by Khonshu, he just turns to dust. And they could close the episode out there, but no, in comes Arthur Harrow with his shoe full of glass every step he takes and tells him, I enjoy all of the bodies you made me take. Yep, you're evil. You're very evil. You're top 5 evil for Marvel. As far as evilness, evil? Yeah, this guy's the worst. Khonshu is tethered to this place. The heroes have the coordinates. Arthur has momentum. We're 3 episodes in, and this is on tier of Falcon and Winter Soldier as far as my favorite show goes. This is on par with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I can't believe they're making me like this deity stuff, which I usually don't like. I actually do still hate it. I wish that they were using other words other than gods, because, you know, how could there be more than one god? It literally doesn't make sense to me. But gods was the word that and deity, they use that one too. Pretty whack if you ask me. This show right now is firing on all cylinders. There is a third Moon Knight personality of the dissociative personality disorder. I've seen Oscar Isaac interviews where he tried to say we treated it with the utmost respect and we had experts come in so that we were not being disrespectful to it. I saw that during that trial scene, that very telling trial scene. If there's something this show is missing, it would be the fighting. It's not too impressive to me. It's kind of kick punch. The throwing of the blades. They could improve the throwing of the blades. Make it return back to him, throw it back, return back to him, because he's got the powers to do that. But those little moon blades thing that he has could be used more. We know that now that he heals. So guys, hey, if we can't have Kamala Khan stretched like Mr. Fantastic because it's too similar, then this guy healing means that when Wolverine comes, he can't heal. Those are the rules, right? Stupid idiot fans. The show is pretty amazing. Let me know how you feel about this one. Rated out of 10. I'll give this specific episode. Is it a 10? Man, it might just be a 10 out of 10. What a strong episode. No, we're going to give it 9 because the fighting wasn't too slick. Because it was lacking in fighting, because the special effects were not flexed, we'll only give it a 9 out of 10. Great episode.